Anyway, next up, please put your hands together for Melissa J. Give it up again for the heels too. The heels. My goodness. Not easy.
Give it up for Sean's hair too. While we're at it. What a great head of hair. Best head of hair in LA. So it's great to be here. I have been telling jokes all week. Tonight I want to tell a story about the time that I almost got stabbed. And yes, it seems to be a theme of tonight's performance. I love how Sean throws an event called Monday Night Delight, and the comics want to talk about stabbings. Yes. Wouldn't want it any other way. But it happened, I had just moved to Los Angeles. I was one of the first nights in town. And I was on the internet, and there was this big list of open mics that I could go to. And I was like, oh, wow, there's one at the Hooters. I was like, boy, I just moved to LA. I have a big pair of fake breasts. What better place to go than Hooters? And luckily, I was staying right on Hollywood Boulevard. It was walking distance from my house. So the apartment I was staying in, there was an alley. And as I was walking through the alley, heading out to Hollywood Boulevard, there were these two younger gentlemen, and they were walking past the edge of the alley. And the one saw me in the alley, grabbed the other one by the arm. They stopped, they looked at each other, they nodded, and they came darting at me at like a 45-degree angle as fast as they could. And all I could think of was like, wow, this is it. You know, like, this is it. My life is going to end. And at that point, I saw a waterfall of my entire life. Everything I had ever seen just flashed before my eyes. But I want to get to that in a minute. There's one point that I want to make. I don't want to get into the race of the two kids who were charging at me. But let me just say it was safe to say that they had been stereotyped their entire lives. Their entire lives, people had thought the worst about them and always assumed they were going to do things that they weren't. And as they were charging at me, despite the oddity of the circumstances, all I could think of in my head was, I'm not a racist, I'm not a racist, I'm not going to stereotype these kids, I'm not going to stereotype these kids. Rather than, well gosh, maybe I should turn around and run, or maybe I should call 911, or maybe I should whip out one of these fake breasts and start smacking fools around right here in this alley. But no, I was thinking, I'm not a racist, I'm not a racist. For what it's worth, race relations have been at an all-time low that I've seen in my entire life over the last year. But for what it's worth, there are some white people who will go to the grave before we go George Zimmerman on somebody. And luckily, the universe listened. My karma was rewarded. Because when they got right up to me, I could feel the breeze of their bodies as they were racing up to me. The kid comes up to my face and he goes, "Damn, girl, you look good. How much for a blowjob?" So I was correct that they wanted to stab me with something, but it wasn't with a knife, it was with his penis. And I was correct that money would have been changing hands in that alley, except I would have been leaving with everybody's money. It's a topsy-turvy world. The main point I want to make is this. I saw my life flash before my eyes. I thought it was all going to go away. I saw the first kiss I ever had in grade school, the day I got my driver's license, the first day I moved to California. And as I was preparing to leave this earthly plane, the one thought in my head was, thank God I do stand-up comedy. That was all I could think about was, thank God I have gotten on stage and I've done something with my life. To all of you who are performing or anybody in here who's struggling with anything, at some point this is all going to go away. And when it does, you can know that you have filled your purpose here and your time is complete. You have done your job. We're all dealing with a lot of hardships, people sleeping in cars, people living on ramen. At some point, this is all going to make sense. And I got to say, preparing to leave the earth, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It was kind of a beautiful thing. And my conclusion at the end of all of this, death isn't nearly as bad as bombing at the Comedy Store. All right? So hey, I love you all. Thank you guys so much. See you next time.
One more time. Melissa J. You guys, moments like that. You know what I mean? I feel like I just read The Power of Now. Like, that felt so good just now. That was, dang, public service announcement from Melissa J. So, was that even a comedy set? What do you call it?
I'm bored. I wanted to tell a story.
You just wanted to share something deep and meaningful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Funny
I'm
PSA.
very sorry to hear that. By the way, race relations, y'all. Just to let you know, I lived in China for 8 months, right? I've been to Africa. I've been to Nepal. We're the only country that has race relations like we have. You know what I mean? Like a lot of other places are doing great, and a lot of other places are still not doing great, but there's still so much more than what we see here. Deal or no deal?
Deal.
All right, so just to keep that mind open, there's beautiful things happening all over the world now. They're guaranteed your money back. And I'm glad you brought that up. Like, thank you. It means a lot. One more time for Melissa J. Yeah. So next up.